Hey everybody, Philip Aldifer here, KLOUD Realty Group. I am with the amazing and talented Shayna Thadner. Shayna, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. So let's just begin. Let's just jump in. What are you, if I was a buyer and I came to you and said, "Hey, you're a local real estate expert. I'd love your advice. We're thinking about buying a house, but we're not sure where the market is going and don't know if it's a good time." What advice would you give me?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at single family homes in Anchorage, then the average price in 2023 was 467,000. So that
Okay,
was an increase over 2022. And
got it.
so even though, inventory's low, we're still seeing an increase in the average price of a home.
Yeah,
And it looks to probably stay that way through the end of the year at
got it.
least.
Got it.
So
So prices, no, nothing on the horizon is indicating a pullback in prices in the Anchorage market from what you're saying.
no, I mean, we might get a little bit more inventory as we get closer to summer, but I think
Sure.
there's a lot of buyers who have been waiting for that inventory. And so the competition will still be there.
Yeah, that's a great point. That risk, people will say, we've heard it for years, oh, well, I'll wait to spring because there's more to choose from. Well,
Right.
you wait till spring. There's also more buyers chasing what you're choosing from. It's like trying to
Yeah.
fish on the Kenai when the salmon are running.
There's not a lot of waiting time either because
Yeah,
houses average are, on the market for only a few weeks.
yeah.
So,
What about prices in the valley? Where have they been
um,
recently, if
let's
you've got
see.
that?
Yeah, the Valley. So right now about $380,000 on average. And they've had a big jump in the last decade.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and still only on the market for about a month, 30
Got it.
days.
Got it.
So, and we always know that the valley is growing, the
Yep.
fastest growing area in
Yeah.
Alaska. So, yeah, they're kind of in the same boat, a little bit less expensive, but
Mhm.
there's more land to choose from.
Yeah. 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 That's the comment you made about days on market is interesting if you're thinking about it from a seller's perspective. In other words, you might plan, you should be assuming that you're going to be on 25, 35, 45 days. It sounds like somewhere around 25 or 30
Yeah.
on average, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like we've been talking about single family homes, but if you're talking about condos, it's
Yeah.
10 to 11 days
Got it.
average. So, I mean, it's just they're flying off.
They're flying off the shelves.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think the that probably gives sellers maybe a little bit more leverage on pricing than they would, but it's also a good reminder that if you're not under contract,
Yeah.
you've missed the mark, right? There's
Yeah.
no, we know from buyer psychology that if it feels out of reach, they won't grab for it.
hmm And also, I mean, we see people trying to sell at the prices of a few years ago during the
Yep.
pandemic when everybody was buying and selling and moving around. And so, yeah, if you're on the market, especially in Anchorage for a month, you're probably priced too high.
Price too high. Yeah, if you've been hanging around, if the listing has been on the market and not sold, maybe time to
Yeah.
reassess.
Drop that
Yeah,
price.
yeah, yeah. Good advice. Good advice. And finally, what about interest rates? What advice are you giving folks about interest rates, or what are the conversations you're having?
I mean, you hear lots of predictions. Nobody has a magic ball, a magic 8 ball,
Hmm.
but in general, we're not assuming that they're going to drop a significant amount before the end of the year. So if you're waiting for it to get down to 4 or 5%
Yeah,
before you make your move, you might be waiting a very long time.
very long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My,
And I
my
think that the days of 3.5% are over. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Where we are now, if you look at the charts, and we have a lot of this data. If you are interested in more of the data, please like or comment below. Do remember to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you back here for our next sort of weekly update. But we've got all this data. If you'd like more of it, like or comment below because we'd happy to get it out in your hands. But what we're seeing right now are interest rates that are really very close to where both the 20 and 40-year averages have been. This is normal. The period we just came out of was abnormal. The 19 abnormally high. We don't expect 12, 18%. We
mhm,
also don't expect 3 and 4.
3%. Yeah. But my parents like to remind us that they paid 18%. So,
Absolutely.
and of
Absolutely.
course, they thought it was so hard to buy a house then. But
Yeah, that's right. That's it. We all
yeah.
need to take more advice from Shayna's parents. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
All right. Well, that's another video for another day.
Yeah.
Uh, well, so Shana, thank you for the time. I thank you for sharing the knowledge with our folks. Anything else you want to leave them with today?
I just think this is a random fact that I found while looking up the data is that on the Kenai Peninsula, so the average days on market right now on the Kenai for a single family home is 45 days. And 10 years ago, it was 139 days. And that's just
Goodness
wild.
gracious.
That's just wild to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
would be basically saying, it'd be months if you're a seller having to sell your house, you'd be planning on months and months of it being on the
Planning
market.
on months and months.
And
Yeah.
now it's much closer to just, a month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was I started my first company down in Homer in 2001, and that was absolutely. I mean, that now that you bring that back, it was a very different environment. Yeah, different conversations.
Yeah, it changes the whole selling process for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess unlike your parents, I just forgot about those days.
Yeah,
so
just
that was
block it out.
block that out. All right, good stuff. I'm Philip Aldifer, KLOUD Realty Group. Shana Seidner with us here at KLOUD. If you got questions about your specific circumstance or your specific situation, please reach out. We'd love to be a resource to you. Otherwise, thank you for your time. We'll talk again soon. See ya. Bye.
Bye.